Okay. Okay, she says, I agree. Okay, I believe. Both of you correct. Both of you correct. Right. I believe. Okay. All right. Okay. Again, good afternoon to everyone. And today we're going to, uh, because someone asked me to, we're going to talk about business and Christianity. As I said last time, is that I like it when people tell me what they want me to talk about. So that makes it life a lot easier. All right. So we're going to talk about that. Okay. Talk about business and Christianity. And go to the word doc. Okay. All righty. And we're going to, instead of doing the PowerPoint, we're going to do the Word doc today. But you have it on, okay? All righty. All right. So again, the idea behind this is to understand is that no matter where you are in life, you're still a Christian. You're a full-time Christian. So therefore, your actions should be consistent. Should be consistent regardless. Okay? All righty. So let's look at the verses. Can you make that a little bigger? Can someone read Colossians 3:23 and 24? Colossians 3:23 and 24. Colossians 3:23 and 24. Someone read that for us.
Praise God. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord.
Okay. Whatever you do it as working for the Lord, no matter what it is. Okay. So no matter what business you're in, and we're all in some kind of business. See, that's the thing we need to make sure. I back up a minute. Is that business is not the person who owns it. The business is anybody who's a part of it. And we all are part of a business, usually, of some type. Okay? Even if you're a housewife, you're part of your business of running your home. All right, so you're always going to be a part of something business-wise. Okay? Proverbs 11:1. The Proverbs 11:1. Can we get someone to read that, please? That's it.
Okay,
Yes.
praise God. The Lord detests dishonest skills, but accurate weights find favor with him.
The Lord detests dishonest skills, but accurate weights find favor with him. Okay, now, what we talk about dishonest skills, we talk about when you weigh food or you weigh vegetables, sometimes when people are in business and they know they're selling something by each end, they put their finger on the scale, make it weigh more than what it's supposed to weigh so that they can get more money. Okay, and this verse is saying that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. So a person who's in the business ought to be fair. Okay? All right, next verse we want to make sure we go over. Matthew 25:14. Not the whole thing. Just the first verse. Is that 25? Yeah. Matthew 25:14. Can someone read that for us, please?
Matthew 25, verse 14, and read. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them.
Okay, now this is the story of the parables, okay? Of the talents, I mean, not parables, talents, all right? And you have a situation where God has given each one of us a talent, and he expects us to use that talent wisely. We're supposed to be good stewards. So we're in the business. Whether we own the business or a worker in the business, you're in the business. Okay? All right. So you want to make sure that you use your Christian ethics which relates to that. Okay? And Deuteronomy 8:18. Deuteronomy 8:18. Okay, can someone read that for us, please?
Deuteronomy 8:18. But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms his confidence, which he swore to to your ancestors, as it is today. Amen.
Amen. Okay, again, it says that we're all in the business and there's nothing wrong with wealth because God gives us the ability to obtain wealth. But we cannot do it at the detriment of doing something that's opposite of what God's will is. As long as we're consistent in what we're doing and it's consistent with the Bible, then what we're doing is fine. So some people will talk about the fact that someone should not make money. That's not what the Bible says. That's not what the Bible says. But it says there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. Okay? All right. Okay. Introduction, faith in the marketplace. Okay. Again, marketplace, business. We have a couple people here who are in business. That's what they do. Okay. Someone owns a business. There's nothing wrong with that. Make sure you understand there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what you do with it. Okay. Now, again, Elder John is a teacher, but he's in the business. What business is he in? He's in the teaching business. He's in the educational business. Okay. Now, he can cheat in the educational business by allowing everybody who walks in the classroom to do whatever they want to do, give them all A's, and everybody's happy with him. Right? He can do that. But that's not consistent with biblically correct. It's not biblically correct. Because he's supposed to be representing the school. He's supposed to be doing what the school asks him to do, as long as it's consistent with the Bible. All right? So we need to make sure we understand that. Okay, any questions there? Okay. All right. Again, work is God-oriented. Work is God-oriented. Everything we do should be to please God. Everything we do should be to please God. Now, stewards. Stewards. What's a steward? Someone tell me what a steward is?
A person who serves, like else.
Person who serves. Okay, that's a good answer. Okay.
Care of something, who's watching over something.
Yeah, that's probably a little better. Someone who is watching over something. Now, what are we watching over? God has given each one of us a talent. He's given each one of us, and he expects us to use that. He expects us to use that. Okay, that's just expectation. Those will be good stewards. Now, just like the talent, one of the people took the talent and hid it rather than use it, and he got in trouble because he didn't abide by what God expected him to do, which was to use the talent. We all have talents. We all have talents. And you can't abuse what God has given you as a steward, whatever it is. And again, the idea being is that if you, a business and you're not the owner, you're a worker there, the owner expects you to be a good steward. Am I right? The owner hires you to be a good steward. There's no reason for them to hire you if you're not going to be a good steward. That makes sense? All right. So now that means that you're supposed to work best you can. Doesn't mean that you do something that's non-biblical. That's not what we're saying. But you do your job as well as you can do because you are working for someone else. They have invested some funds into their business and they're expecting to reap some benefits from that. So it's our responsibility as Christians to do that. We good there? Okay, all right. Okay. Now, integrity. Integrity, we talked about that. Integrity means doing the right thing, whether someone is looking at you or not. And it doesn't matter where you are. Now, I'm asking a difficult question. Who plays soccer, football? Okay, you play football, okay? You play a little bit of football, okay? All right, now, you have a referee, right? Okay, so you kick the ball and the ball, and you and the defender both go for the ball and it goes out of bounds. Okay, who gets the ball? Who gets the ball? Who gets to throw it in? Huh? Ah, okay. No, wait. No, it's the referee. The referee says who gets it, right? Okay, but you know that you did it. You know that you hit the ball. Okay, but the referee didn't see it because you kind of out of sight. So what do? You say, okay, yeah, I got it. Throw it in, right? Or do you say, ref, it was me? Which one do you do? Okay. All right. See, the point we're trying to make again is that integrity is something that we're supposed to do regardless of where we are. There is no, well, this is sports and we're playing a game. And although I know that the call is wrong, I'm just going to go along with it because that's the way it's supposed to be. Do we do that? Well, we do that sometimes, don't we? Sometimes we do that. And I'm not blaming anybody, okay? Make sure you understand. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that integrity is something that you can't pick and choose when you have integrity and when you don't. You can't pick and choose. You got to either have it and do it or you don't. And I understand because refs make mistakes, and we get angry with the referee sometimes. Okay. All right. They get a red card or a yellow card. Okay. All right. But the fact of the matter is that we've got to have integrity all the time.
Yeah, Pastor Joe, but in this situation, like you said, especially in football, if I touch the ball with my hands in the square, I will not tell the ref that, yeah, I did. I will say, no, that's why they even bring the VR now to check like what happened.
Yeah.
Back in the day before they brought that thing, they were all lying. And then at that particular moment, you can't tell the truth. It's not possible. You can use that integrity. No, otherwise you're going to be kicked out of the team.
Okay. And I understand. I use the example of sport just because it's a good example. Okay. And I really don't expect anybody to stand up and say, I did it. I don't really expect that. But what I am saying though is that I'm trying to put us in the mindset that integrity is always. Integrity is always. It's not when we can't pick and choose when we're gonna have integrity. To go back to the thing of business. Okay. You can't say, well, that's business. And I can do what I want to do. No, it's not business and I can do what I want to do. It's either right or it's wrong. You either have integrity in your business or you don't. You know, and you can't pick and choose because if you pick and choose, you're always going to choose the time when it's best for you. That's right, definitely. You always going to do that when you pick and choose. Okay, but that's not what integrity is not about whether it's good for me or bad for me. Integrity is it right or is it wrong? That's integrity. Okay? Any questions there? We good there? And again, the only point I'm trying to make is that we need to try to be consistent. Try to be consistent all the time. Okay? And get in the habit of being consistent. Get in the habit of being consistent. Whether you counting money in your business or playing a game. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. And then we have excellence. Excellence. Could we read Colossians 3:23? Colossians 3:23, please.
Whatever you do, work at it with all your hearts as working for the Lord, not for the human masters.
Right. We talked about it a little bit. Whatever you do it the best that you can do it. Not because you have a boss looking over your shoulder. That's not why you do the best you can. You do the best you can, whether he or she is looking over your shoulder or not. You do it as if you are working for the Lord. Why? Because the Lord has put you in a position. You're where you are because the Lord wants you there. And he wants you there so that you can be an example, that you can shine. You can let your light shine. So if someone asks, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you working as hard as you work or whatever? You can say it's because, God expects me to do this. Okay. He's given me a talent. He's given me a blessing. He's put me in a position. He expects me to do the best I can do. It doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes, but it does mean that I am going to do the best that I can do. Striving for excellence. Always. In the classroom, the same thing. See, students, the reason why students have a problem in school is because the motivation is wrong. The motivation is wrong. Why do you want to learn something? So you can get an A? And some people say, yeah, I want to get an A, so that's why I want to learn it. Okay. But if you get an A and have not done the best you can do, you're missing the boat. You're missing the boat. You should do the best that you can be in school so you can learn. So you can be the best, whatever it is that you're trying to be. Not to get the A, because you may not get the A. Professor may not like you for some reason or another. Or you may not be a very good test taker. So you don't get a 99 or 100. You get an 89. But that's the best you can do. That's okay. See, we get hung up on everybody wants to make an A. That's not the key. The key is doing the best that you can do with what you got. That's the key. That's the question. Did you do the best? If you did the best, it's all done. If you got an A, did you do your best? No, then you're missing the boat somewhere. Excellence. God expects excellence out of us. Everything that we do expects excellence. Okay? All righty. Honesty and fairness. Honesty and fairness. Going back to integrity. God expects us to be honest. In business, sometimes people are not quite honest. We've talked about this before. You have a product and you want to sell that product. So you market it. How do you market it? You know, you make a commercial. Okay, a commercial, you make a commercial and you want to show it to people on Facebook or YouTube or on the radio or whatever. You dress it up. You dress it up. It's not exactly true. It's not exactly true. Why do you do that? Because you want to sell the product. You want to sell the product. But the problem with that is that that's not being honest. There's nothing wrong with making a commercial. There's nothing wrong with marketing your product. Market your product honestly. Market your product honestly. I don't know if any of you have seen, probably haven't because I'm telling my age. There was a movie long time ago about Santa Claus. Okay, and this Macy's store in New York, and initially they were telling untruths about the product so they could make some money. And someone, I forgot who was, turned it around and they started telling the truth about the products. And guess what happened? They started making more money. They started making more money. They made more money because they were honest than they made when they were dishonest. And sometimes it's not clear cut. Sometimes it's, the gray areas we like to call gray areas, but there's really no gray area, really black or white. But we try to call it gray area. Okay. But when you're in business, you ought to be honest with people. If you know it's going to take 2 weeks for somebody to get something, don't tell them 2 days to 2 weeks. But no way they'll get it in 2 days. Don't even, I mean, why do that? You're being dishonest. Just say in the beginning, we're in China, you in wherever, okay, it's going to take 2 weeks to get there. Be honest. Somebody would expect, would like you more by being honest than you telling them 2 days, and then the third day they calling you and say, where is it? And then you got to make up a lie. Okay, make up a lie. Okay, because there's no way it's gonna get there in 3 days or 2 days. So just be honest. Okay. This thing of business and Christianity that's how it comes together. Because it means that you tell the truth. You tell the truth. And it always, for businesses, it works itself out. It really does. Because if you tell a lie to me, I'm gonna tell somebody else you lied. And they're gonna tell somebody else you lied. And all of a sudden your name's not gonna be mud. Okay, so you might as well be honest in the very beginning. Okay. All right, any questions there? We good? Okay. All right. And then we got what's that? Oh, humility versus pride. Humility versus pride. You in business, you need to be, what's the big thing is the customer is always right in business. The customer, okay. That really comes from you're supposed to be humble. You're not supposed to say, oh, I know what I'm doing. You're the one that's wrong. You don't say that to the customer. You might tell the customer they're wrong, but you say it in the right way. Okay? So you be humble. Okay. That's again consistent with the Bible. Consistent with the Bible. Okay? All righty. Okay. And serving, again, the way that you make money in business is serve someone. I have a need, you meet my need, you okay. Okay. That's how you make your money. You make money, okay? Okay. That's what it's about. Okay. All righty. Conflict resolution. Conflict resolution. Businesses, and not just businesses, we all get in situations where there's a conflict sometimes. It was a disagreement. But you can disagree without being disagreeable. You can disagree without being disagreeable. So therefore, if you're in business and the customer is talking to you and there's a friction there, there's a way to address that. There's a way to address it. Again, it goes back that you say it in the right way. Not always what you say, but it's always how you say it. It's always how you say it. Okay? All right. Okay. And then let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. And tithing and generosity. Tithing and generosity. What's that got to do with anything in business? Okay. Whether I'm not saying you need to tithe. I'm saying if you do tithe, then you need to tithe. Okay. If you don't, that's okay too. Okay. But generosity. Okay. Businesses gain a lot by helping other people. Okay. Right or wrong, I don't have to like it or dislike it, but businesses will get involved with an activity so that they get the name out there. Okay. All right. So people can get to know who they are. Okay. The generosity. Okay. All right. Brother gave me a hat and a shirt. He doesn't expect me to take that hat and shirt and put it on my shelf. He expects me to wear it. Okay. It's a generosity to me. My generosity to him, but I thank him and I wear it. Okay. All right. That's business. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's business. Okay. All righty. Okay. Now, we'll skip the question for a minute, come back to it. Using business as a ministry. Using business as a ministry. Okay. Can a business be a mission? Can a business be a calling? Yes, a business can be a calling. Okay. So you're providing something that people need. You're providing something that people need. Okay. And as long as you're doing it the right way, it's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Some people misunderstand that. What did Paul do? Paul made tents. Paul made tents. He didn't make those tents just to be making tents. He made those tents and sold them. And he used the money for his Christian journey. Okay. So he was in a business. He was in a business. Okay. So just like Paul was in a business, and Paul said that to the church. Right? He says, I thank you for what you're giving me, but understand that I work. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Being in a business. Okay. All right. A business can be a mission. Okay. All right. A business can support ministries through business endeavors. A business can support. Yeah. Now, for instance, we have a school in Kenya, okay, that we were sponsoring. I guess we still are to some degree. Okay. And what we decided to do was to start a pig farm. Pig farm has nothing to do with school. What we were hoping for is that the pig farm would make money, and then we could take the money that the pig farm makes to put it back into the school. Because we know that all the parents didn't have a lot of money to pay the tuition. So this is a way of generating revenue to offset the cost of some of the school. Okay, that's what we're talking here, where you can have a business that supports ministries. Okay? Again, business and Christianity goes hand in hand. It does. It's not one or the other. They go hand in hand. Okay? All righty. Ethical leadership as a witness. If you own a business and people see you acting ethically, you're doing the right thing, then what are you doing? You are witnessing for Christ. You're witnessing for Christ. Because they see you doing the right thing. Okay? So a business can allow you to do that. Okay? Any questions there? Now, and I'm gonna pick on you a minute. Can I pick on you a minute? Thank you. Can I pick on you a minute? Can I pick on you a minute? Thank you. Okay. Last time we had this conversation, you were concerned that what would you be able to do as a Christian if you had to do everything right? Right? Okay. I think that's kind of how you said it. Okay. And I want to say is that it's okay. That's that's a feeling that a lot of people have, that I can't do everything right because it won't always work out. That's not what the Bible teaches. There is a way to do things right and still be very successful in business. There's a way to do things right and still be very, very successful in business. Okay? That's the point. That's the point we're trying to make here. So don't think that you cross the line when you go into business. You're still the same person. God still expects the same thing out of you. Okay? All right. Go to, there's a slide I want to show. Go to another slide. Let's talk about this a minute. Okay. I set out is a slide that has 10 companies on it. And I want to make sure that we talk about these. Not that one, another one. Yeah, faith. Yeah. Faith-based companies and business. Let's talk about these a minute. Make sure you understand them. Okay. The first one is Chick-fil-A. Everyone knows about Chick-fil-A? Okay, some people do Chick-fil-A. Okay, all right. You know the Chick-fil-A is not open on Sunday? Nowhere in the world is Chick-fil-A open on Sundays. Nowhere. It's been estimated that Chick-fil-A loses $1 billion each year because they don't open on Sunday. Is Chick-fil-A still in business? They're still in business, aren't they? They're still in business. Because they made a decision that they were not going to be open on Sundays. Now, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, but that's not the point. I'm making the point that they made a decision, a definitive decision, that it was their business that they were going to be closed on Sundays. Regardless of whether McDonald's is open, Burger King is open, they're going to be closed. And they're still in business. And it's still making money. Back to what I said earlier, if you do things the right way for the right reason, God will bless you. God will bless you. You don't get hung up on what happens if I do the right thing. Don't get hung up on that. Get hung up on doing the right thing. Questions on that?
I don't know if it's going to be a question, but is just for a beginning, I think when you start something, there's no day off. That's my personal opinion.
Again,
I'm saying for the beginning, when you start something, I think there should not be a day off. like Sunday, Monday is not supposed to be a day off because you are starting. That's at the beginning. So you're trying to make something out of it. And then when you reach certain level, you can now decide, you can now decide if yes,
I love it. I love it. I love that. I love that. No. No. Oh. I want to be the best basketball player I can be. Do I start doing something today, and then when I get better, then I start doing something different? Or do I start doing the right thing when I start in the beginning? I start doing the right thing when I start in the beginning, so I can get to where I need to be. So you don't start wrong to get right. You start right to get righter. You understand what I'm saying there? I mean, now I understand what you're saying. Okay, but look, if Chick-fil-A had been open on Sundays, okay, and then they said, well, we're not gonna open on Sundays anymore. Everybody would look at them and say, why? Well, why? But it started off with, we're not open on Sundays. Everybody know the answer. They're not open on Sundays because they want people to go to church and they want people to stay home with their families. That's their values. I'm not saying that everybody needs to have that value. What I am saying is that you have a value, whatever it is, start off with it and stick with it. Stick with it. So that I know who you are. I don't have to think, I don't have to wonder who you are. I know who you are because it's your values. So Chick-fil-A is closed. Oh, now what happened is that there are a couple of places that said they wanted Chick-fil-A to stay open on Sundays, and Chick-fil-A says no. And they said, okay.
all right. So this is going to be a situation things that I'm going to actually, but okay. The thing is like, let's say today is Sunday, and then you have a business appointment, and then you also have church. So where will you go? If you go to the business appointment, you're going to miss church. If you go to church, you're going to miss appointment.
What's the right thing to do?
Go to the business appointment.
That's the right thing to do?
For me,
Okay, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that you're wrong. But what I am telling you is that if that's the position you're going to take, then continue with it. But I personally, I would not make the appointment on Sunday.
no, I said it. My statement is, it's not like I'm choosing Sunday for appointment.
Right.
I don't know if I make it.
Yeah.
I'm not choosing Sunday for appointment. Like on Sunday morning,
Yeah.
you get appointment for a business.
Right.
So, okay, you are about to go to church, but you got appointment.
And I'm saying that the person you have the appointment with needs to understand what your values are. That's all I'm saying. But they're consistent. And again, I'm not saying you're wrong. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm just saying consistent. Okay, so that if you tell me that this is who you are, then I expect you to be that way all the time. Don't tell me, okay, well, next Sunday, I say we're gonna have a meeting. You say, well, I got church. Yeah, I said, but last Sunday we met. Okay, and I keep bringing that to you. Okay, because you did one time. Now, if you stopped the first time and said no, I got church, then I know the next time it's not. I mean, it's similar to what I talked about once before. And I'm not getting into alcohol, okay, good or bad. I'm not getting into that. I don't drink, but that's me. When I came to China, as the director of our school, I was expected to drink. So we would go out to dinner, and Chinese people would say, okay, drink. And I said, no, I don't drink. Okay? All right. And my Chinese interpreter person told him, no, he doesn't drink. She said he was because he's a Christian. But I didn't say that. I said I don't drink. Okay? After the second time, nobody asked me to drink anymore. It's me. Because they already knew I didn't drink. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm not getting the right or wrong drinking, okay? I'm saying that I decided that this is what I want to do, and they accepted it. If I had drunk the first time to be sociable, because I'm in China now, and I'm not supposed to drink, then the next time, what they're gonna do? They're gonna expect me to drink.
Drink.
And the next time, they're gonna expect me to drink. All right? If you do something like that, it's never going to stop.
Okay, to double mention this point, I don't know if we are getting the context here, because
Yeah.
sometimes we ask for things. At the moment where we have to get it, you have something coming out. Like you say, okay, take an example, simple one. Okay, I'm praying for this business, this thing to work out, and then I'm getting ready to go to church and get a call. Okay, you know what? Come, let's close it now. I was supposed to go to church. I'm going to church. You can do it on Monday. Business doesn't wait. And at the end of the day, you were asking for something.
No,
But that's something, maybe that day is God to say, okay, go get it, and then you pray at home.
I understand what you're saying, okay? And again, I'm not saying you're wrong, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying be consistent. If you tell me that you are a Christian and you go to church on Sunday, okay, and that's what you do, then that's what you do. And if I want your business, I'll see you on Monday. I will. If you got a good product and I want that product, I will see you on Monday because I understand that that's what you do. Now, don't get me wrong now, okay? Muslims. What day do Muslims go to church?
That what
Muslims.
Friday, right?
Have you ever been anywhere where there was a Muslim restaurant, a Muslim office building where they were open on Friday? No, it closed.
They close, yeah,
Why?
because that's their prayer time.
At their present. The only thing I'm saying. It's the only thing I'm saying, it's consistent, okay? You know, the Muslim closed on Friday, so I'm gonna go to their restaurant on Friday, looking for it to be open. That's all I'm saying, okay? And there's no reason, and this is where we have to understand is that we gotta take a stand. If your stand is here, then stay here. If your stand is over here, then that's okay. I'm not telling you what the stance ought to be. I'm just saying, be consistent so that I know. I mean, so that I know. Okay, that's all I'm saying. If I'm confused, you know, when you say one thing, you do something else.
Okay, all right. But for me, I will keep my position because I think and I believe because we all don't have the same belief here.
Yeah.
Yes, for me, I believe that when you need something, you can get it. Okay, and on the process of getting it, there are things can happen, good or bad, but you end up getting it. But you cannot ask for something, and when the things that you ask is coming out, you will leave it to say, "I'm going on Sunday to church to pray." Nah, that's my personal opinion.
I
I
understand.
do respect what you said, maybe it's correct, but that's my personal
Yeah.
opinion. And it's,
I understand. But my question to you is, do you think that God would ask you to do something that's wrong?
no,
No. Okay. So God will not, you cannot ask God for something and he gives it to you and it's wrong.
Sure.
Okay. So because he expects you to be consistent with him.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
same also, God also knows that, okay, was supposed to go on Sunday to church. You should have managed to not let the guy call me that day. Also, it's also a probability. Maybe he was like, okay, you are going there, but let me turn your direction, go get it. Turn around.
We can always find reasons to do something. Okay. We can always find reasons to do something.
100%.
Okay, and all I'm saying is that, and actually, you know, and I know but we gotta get out of here too. Okay, be consistent.
But I wanted to know, can't God want us to do something on Sunday, which is not going to church? Because sometimes maybe you will go to church and you won't get anything. And since God works through people, maybe that the Sunday is the day you were supposed to get what you prayed for.
Okay, again, make sure we understand. I am not saying that you can't do business on Sunday. I am not saying that. All I'm saying is that be consistent in what you do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not making a blanket statement, okay? Now, if I'm a pro football player, the games are on Sunday, then I play on Sunday because I'm a pro football player, okay? But I can't stand up and say, I'm a Christian, I go to church on Sunday because my game was today, I won't go. You can't do that. Okay, you have to be consistent, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. Right. Right. But, yes, but, and I understand that. Okay, pray later. Okay, I understand. But I'm saying that we need to be consistent. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that in each case, of Chick-fil-A, they're consistent. No matter where they go, but Chick-fil-A, whether it's in Switzerland, whether it's in Zimbabwe, or whether it's in China, Chick-fil-A is closed every Sunday. Okay, let me go ahead, Brad. Go to the next one. Hobby Lobby. It's a Christian music store. They don't believe in contraception. Right or wrong, not a right or wrong, they don't. So they stick with that. They stick with that. Next. Interstate Batteries. Their mission statement, in their vision statement, it says to glorify God and enrich lives. That's the mission statement of that business. They sell batteries. Now, what in the world selling batteries got to do with glorifying God? What they say is that they glorify God in what they do. But whatever they do, they glorify. They're selling batteries, but they're doing it in the right way, glorifying God. They're taking a stance. They're taking a stance. Go ahead. Tyson Food. They have a spiritual support service for their employees. That's their stance. That's their values. That's what they do. Tyson Food makes money. Okay. It's not an either or. It's not they don't make money or they make money because they do offer that services to employees. Okay. Service Master. Again, their mission statement to honor God in all we do. To honor God in all. That's part of their mission statement. It's a business. It's not a church. It's a business. But they put God into their business. Okay, so there's no question about it. Go ahead. Forever 21, clothing store. And I really didn't know about this store. I went and looked. It says modesty and affordability guided by Christian values. And I said, well, what are you talking about? You know, you can't go in that store as a girl and buy a dress that's up here. They don't sell them. They don't sell them. Okay, it's down here. It's fashionable, very colorful, but they don't sell stuff to females that's going to expose their body. That's not what they do. Because what? They're guided by their Christian values. Again, not saying it's right or wrong, just saying that they are consistent with their values and what they do in their store. Okay? All right. In and Out Burgers. They put Bible verses on their packages. They put Bible verses on their package. They package a hamburger, they got a Bible verse on the hamburger. Okay? Again, consistent. Not right. And I'm not saying everybody should have that. But I'm saying that there are companies that are successful not because they chose one or the other. It's because they chose to stick with their value. as a business. Okay, but do we have another one? Forever long, to reflect God in all we do. To reflect God in all we do. That's a part of their mission statement. Okay? All right. So again, all we're trying to do is to say that business and Christianity fold together. There's not one or the other. You're in business, so you can't be a Christian. No. If anybody tells you you can't be a Christian and be in business, they're wrong. They're wrong. They are totally wrong. You could be in whether you're owner or a worker or whatever. If you're a Christian, you're a Christian, regardless. Okay, Fred, yeah, maybe.
Praise God. I wanted to speak about first impression. In the business world, there's what we call first impression. The first thing you do, that's how customers will react to you. No matter how consistent, sometimes people like they fail to understand that when you're a Christian, you need to know that God is God and money is money. But when you're dealing with money, you don't take money as a God, but you take God beyond your money in a way that you are not controlled by the world. What am I trying to say? That when you're doing a business, no matter what you're doing a business as a Christian, one of the things, don't make your business as though of the world. What am I trying to say? Comparing things that if this person is doing like this, my business can be like this. Because first impression you put in place, that's how people will follow you. If they know that you don't work on Sunday, even customers can be knowing that this person does not work on Sunday. Another thing, what I said is about what he said that about you if you pray. I personally, I prayed for 3 things, but in those 3 things, they came 6 things, but out of 3 things were of evil. But one of the things, it is what we call discerning the things that come. Because when you are praying, even the devil can also bring things in the middle. Because God cannot bring something on, because he knows on Sunday, that's a day of worshiping. And God brings something because he wants to say that I want to give you more money. No. God will always be God, and God is an organized person in a way that God will always do things in the right way. In my 3 things I was praying for, when I brought 3, because when I was studying, let me give this example.
Okay, hold on a minute. I need to cut you off right there. Okay, good. But because we got to get out of here on time. Okay. Oh, yes. And I apologize for that. Okay.
Praise God. The Bible said, the love of money is the root of all evil. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't look for money, but the love of it leads you to evil. So when it comes to business or what we do, you don't compare it to Christianity. Where you place your God is where you found him. If you place your God above your business, you always find him above your business. If you place your God under your business, you always find your God under your business. It is simple. There's no logic in Christianity. There's no logic in belief. If you want to believe God and trust in him, you believe and trust in him. If you have business on Sunday and you have a contract on Sunday, some contract came on Sunday, it is left for you to make decision. Sometimes you can pray, the things you pray for can come as a temptation to you at the wrong time. But it's left for you to choose. Choose correctly. That's why the Bible says, in all your seeking, seek wisdom. In all your seeking, seek understanding.
Okay.
So
Amen.
don't rush it.
Okay. All right. If you're in the back, can you come up, please? We're going to have communion here in a couple of minutes. If you're in the back, just come on up. Sweet. Yeah. Because we have to be out of here by 5 o'clock. Okay, and we pushing it. Okay. Now, let me say this. I remind you on the website, there's a place for a forum. If you have a question or you want to add to whatever we talk about, go to the website, go to the forum and add to it. Okay, write something on it and then somebody can respond to you. Okay? All right. Okay. That's it for the lesson today.